Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. I'm going to be breaking down the series of stocks that you guys all see value in just a couple of minutes. Today it is Sunday, March 15th, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff throughout this live stream. One of the first things that I want to make sure that I share with you, if I'm catching you when you're someone that is just getting started in the stock market, one of the first things that I want to encourage you to do is before you choose to put money in anything, being afraid isn't going to do you any good. Being informed can allow you to make more of an informed decision. So instead of listening to what everyone else has to say, I would really encourage you to not only inform yourself about what is going on in current market conditions, but also to understand that when the market is selling off, it doesn't mean that you have to panic. It simply means that maybe where you pay most attention or where you normally or used to make money now changes a little bit, right? There's still a lot of great ways, especially in the stock market as the market sells off, that you can still do extremely well and stay very consistent. It just means that your attention might just have to pivot. And that's what we're here to do. I'm never here to tell you what to trade, encourage you where to buy, where to sell. At the end of the day, you are the only person responsible whether you come out on top for a profit or you take a loss. So I would really encourage you that if you're someone that's afraid right now during maybe these tough times, there is a lot of unfortunate news that is being shared. It doesn't mean that it has to feel like the end of the world. One of the things that I've noticed is that the people that have really taken initiative during the past 3 to 4 weeks since the market has been pulling back, it's been one of their most successful time periods. Trust me, it is difficult. There's a lot of volatility, but nothing in life worth having will ever come easy, and the stock market is no exception. So I just wanted to make sure that we start kind of this Sunday stock talk on a positive note. I really hope that I earn your thumbs up throughout this video. I will simply, so we have a fake YouTube account. This is annoying. It's probably a little kid. But I want to make sure that we take this time and, kind of try to collect our thoughts. Interest rates being cut close to zero. There's probably a lot of news that we're going to be experiencing and receiving throughout the next couple of weeks. So I just want to make sure that you do not put yourself in any unfortunate position or situation in which that you can't make sense of, right? Or that you can't manage. It is true that a lot of people are making a lot of money during this time, just as true as it is that a lot of people can be losing a lot of money during this time. It's a high risk, high reward type of market. One of the biggest things that I encouraged our traders based off of, I had a specific trading style where I would trade with a certain dollar amount. One of the things that I want to encourage you to take into consideration at the end of the day, it's all up to you guys, but if you feel, and talk to me, right? You guys can talk to me within the little live chat right here. If you feel like the market's been moving too quick for you, if you feel like direction is less clear and it's more inconsistent, what is one of the things that you can begin to do to lower the risk per position? What is something that you can do as either a day trader or as an investor that when direction is not clear, when there's more market volatility, complaining, crying isn't going to do you any good? What can you do? Risk management, 100%. Downsize your position size, decrease position size, or simply don't trade. If you're someone that feels very, very uncomfortable taking a position when the market is selling off, trust me, I am in no position to encourage you to trade. No one should ever force you to put money into anything, right? So with that being said, you could either do one of two things. You can take this time off to inform yourself about what is going on and how to prepare if a reversal does end up happening. Because the more patient that you stay and the more that you inform yourself, the better off you can do later down the road, right? So if you're not making any money right now because the market continues to sell off and you're super scared, that's fine. It just means that you need to, again, take a little bit more time to inform yourself. But what I also want to say is if you are a proactive day trader or investor, and I'm only speaking from experience, all I want to remind you is that for myself, watching my position size, not even just when the market is selling off, but when the market is more volatile. So think of this. So when the market is more volatile, it is much easier to manage your trade, both for a profit or for a loss, when you downsize your position. There's people that are going in very aggressive right now. There's people that are really watching their position size. There is no right or wrong way. People are so opinionated about what you should or should not do. At the end of the day, do whatever it is that you feel like you can manage. If you normally trade with $1,000 and you now only feel comfortable trading with $100 because of volatility, who cares? You have nothing but time to make money and to scale. You are not here to prove yourself to anyone. You are here to only take trades that make sense to you. There's very common quotes of be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy, right? There's so many different ways on how you can still make money during this downfall. And that's all I'm here to remind you to do. It just means that you might have to step back, collect your thoughts, and then replan, right? It doesn't mean that your goal has to change, which the goal is to make money or to grow your account. It doesn't mean that your goal has to change. It just means that maybe your approach or your game plan, right? It's just a little bit different. So I just wanted to make sure that for the first 5 minutes of this live stream, I took time to collect our thoughts, prepare us, right, for this overall week. And now I'm here for each and every single one of you. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to be breaking down the top stocks that our viewers see value in. So I hope that I earn your thumbs up throughout this video. And if you guys want to stay connected, friendly little reminder, we do run the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market. We have over 246,000 members. And if you would love to stay connected, it is free, and it's that first link down below. You are welcome to join. So let's go ahead and get started. Every stock that I break down within this video is going to be on my left-hand side. So if you want to revisit a stock or you want to go back to it because you want to add it to your watch list or review it a little bit more, all you have to do is pay attention to this left-hand side. For all those that love to ask what platform I'm using the Thinkorswim platform. It is not the best platform. It is simply the platform that I use. There's so many amazing platforms out there. Please take time to inform yourself. We have Ismail. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. We have Ismail. All I ask you is if you want me to break down your stock, that you don't just post the ticker symbol, but just like Alex, he took time to plan out his trade, his support, resistance, entry, exit, stop loss, and then why he sees potential. So the first one that we're going to be starting off with is with Alex, and that's AIMT. So let's go ahead and see. Here we go. So overall, if I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons that you had was FDA approval. So one of the first things, I'm not a big trader when it comes down to waiting for FDA approval. I just remember looking back when I used to trade a lot of lower cap stocks. A lot of them were pharmaceutical companies. This is why again, all opinion. Please, Alex, just take it as that. I had a very poor experience trading pharmaceutical companies. This is my experience. It doesn't mean that all pharmaceutical or all therapeutics or all bioscience companies are evil. I'm sure a lot of people do well. I have noticed that when a company waits for FDA approval, those that do end up going through the FDA approval process, great. Yeah, they do soar. They're almost like, I don't want to say pump and dumps, but they don't last for a very long period of time. There's momentum behind them. In my experience, this is all I'm speaking from, more often than not, they don't get approved. They don't go through that approval process, and they end up seeing, in my experience, more of a drop than they do a push. That's all I'm saying. I do see, it is oversold. It was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Market's been selling off. This has been selling off. I would say that this would be something that, based off of previous patterns and based off of current price points, this is my opinion, that I would view this to be a good deal. I just wouldn't see it to be a good buy. My big focus is direction. And right now, the EMA line is acting as a resistance. It's selling off, making lower lows, lower highs. And as of right now, this is not indicating any signs of growth. So let me ask you a very simple question, Alex. Yeah, you could approach it with the idea of, I want to get into it before the FDA approval and hope that it does go up. And that's a high risk, high reward type of approach. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just not something that I would do. Or I can wait for some indication of a uptrend or a reversal and then revisit the idea of, adding to my position size, since it does have a lot of margin to recover. I think everyone watching this can appreciate the previous pattern that it had, can appreciate the deal that it's currently presenting, but its current direction is not in our favor. So with that being said, things aren't getting any better with our overall market. And as of right now, I would just be very wary of current. My big focus right now is direction. So if something is showing signs of an uptrend, I'm going with the flow, taking it day by day, rather than hoping that we see a reversal anytime soon. So let me know. Feel free to share your thoughts. Again, that was just my opinion on it. So here we go. So we got Josh Ecom. So it's SPCE. Okay. So I definitely see why you are. Wait, is this? Okay. So this would be very similar to and guys, please correct me if you think that I'm wrong. I had a very strong day on Friday. I felt like SPCE, and I think there was an article about this, was on a hype train, just like Tesla. I think that it got pushed up way above than where it should have, and then now it's correcting itself, very similar to Tesla, right? With that being said, direction is key for me right now. I just don't feel, with everything that's going on with our current market, that SPCE or Virgin Galactic space travel is in the top of our priority list, right? Out of every company out there that's super cash rich, that's critical, right, to our global economy, I just don't see SpaceX or Virgin Galactic to be something that's on the top of my list. That is 100% my opinion. I do agree. There's so many companies like this right now that were showing signs of a consistent uptrend that have sold off because of current market conditions. So with that being said, this just would not be in the top of my list. If I were to ask you, and again, just an opinion, if I were to ask you, pick five stocks, five ETFs, no, like five of whatever you want, a total of five though. It could be a mix of ETFs or stocks or whatever it is that you want. Would this really be the one that you would pick? That if we were to go into a recession, it's an opinion, right? Would this really be one, based off of how things are playing out, would this really be one that would be in that list of five? I don't think so, right? I think with what the offer it values, I think it's great. I think that it really kind of like represents that Iron Man type of like dream, right? Like space travel and stuff like that. As of right now, I think it's amazing like what it is that they were doing and how much hype there was behind it. Let's be honest, the hype just isn't there anymore, and neither is the direction. So with that being said, I think that we can add this to a list of stocks that we can follow up with when the direction becomes more clear. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of stocks like that today. So there's a lot of people are going to be asking, so it's going to be very similar to Apple's going to be a little bit different. Apple, in my opinion, hasn't sold off as much as everything else can. If I were to ask you this, if I were to ask you guys this, if you were to be able to select five stocks to add to your investment list, right, long term, would Apple be one of them? I want your guys' opinion. So for everyone that's tuning in right now, that's sharing their opinion about stocks, just pause for a second. Would Apple be one of them? And if you say yes, I want to ask you a reason why. So why would you or why would you not? I don't like Apple products. Okay, well, if you're like but I'm talking about as a company itself. Longevity is key. Stable. Okay. I personally would say, and again, this is my opinion, and it's just that, I would say with how cash rich Apple is, I would feel more comfortable to invest in Apple than in comparison to invest in Virgin Galactic, right? That's just my opinion. And a lot of people are sharing their opinions. And again, if we share our opinion, we have to respect others. And that's great. So there's a lot of people that like Apple, obviously a lot of people that, what else is there? Samsung or something. But at the end of the day, I think for what Apple stands for and what type of company it is, definitely I would say that this would be something that I would add to my watch list in waiting for a reversal. Do I think it's the best time to buy right now? I still don't believe so. I still think that with current market conditions, I still think that the market has more to sell off. Things are not getting any better. And if the overall market continues to sell off, most likely Apple will follow, right? As a lot of these major corporations will as well. So with that being said, it did have a really strong push up on Friday. I don't know if you guys have been staying up to date with current market conditions, but /NQ is already down 4.55%. And this is the future, right? So this is the /NQ future. So if you guys, it's not looking really good, right? So it's pretty much going to give back everything that it gained on Friday. And with that being said, that everything that follows S&P 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ will most likely follow with a pullback as well. So this is why I like to continue to remind people that a push up does not mean a reversal. There is no fundamental reason on why the market should recover right now. We don't have a vaccine. There's no indication of a reversal. There's bounces back, right, and pushes, but it continues. Overall direction is still bearish. So I'm here to encourage our traders that it pays to be patient. If you agree with that, great. If you don't, high risk, high reward kind of for you right now. So it all comes at your own price. So that's what we're here to empower you to do. Whatever it is that you want to do, but it definitely pays to be patient. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I think that's going to have to be a question for a later video. We'll probably, Adrian, I'm not, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit tomorrow in our morning live trading session, this is going to be a big discussion. So while we're trading, I'm probably going to go live a little bit longer tomorrow, just because I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions. So this is probably something that we're going to be covering in tomorrow's live trading session. So RLGY. Here we go. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right, same thing with this. Overall, extremely oversold. I do agree. It's almost at 180-day lows. Just because something is oversold does not mean that it can't continue to sell off, right? So with that being said, I do agree. This is something that I would really, if you see a lot of value in it, this is something that I would add to a watch list and set your alerts on. Do I think it's time to buy right now? There's no indication of a reversal. There's nothing. It's continuous lower lows rejected by the EMA line and lower lows and lower highs. As of right now, there's no reason I would even consider putting money into this as of right now. Something that we definitely have to follow up with. Just because it's not increasing in value now doesn't mean that it can't reverse later. So again, it pays to be patient. Set your alerts on whatever stocks you see value in right now and revisit it when it begins to make sense. I was waiting for this. I have these were the first ones I saw, UWT and DWT. This one's going to be interesting. Let me break down before we get into ETFs. I know that's a lot what like our group trades. Let me get through a couple of these normal stocks, and then we'll get to it. So, all right, EQT. All right, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this specific stock. So what is this? EQT trending up on the not as volatile as the overall market. Okay, so EQT Corporation. Okay, so it looks like it got halted a lot on Friday, but what was the reason for the push? Do you know that? All right, let's see. It looks like it just went up on news on the overall market being down, but that wasn't necessarily the case on Friday, but it went up 37%. Um, I mean, and I think one of the things that you said is it's not as volatile as the overall market. It going up nearly 40% in one day is very, very volatile, right? So again, this just isn't my trading style. Not just because I don't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. One of the patterns that I've picked up on is that again tomorrow, which is market open tomorrow on Monday, if the volume does not exceed what we saw on Friday, and the overall demand will most likely see a pullback. Normally, when these companies experience very aggressive green days, then we'll most likely see a pullback. I'm going to have to see how it's trading during the pre-market session. So it might be worth it to set your alarms, see how current direction will be when the market opens. And then I think with that, you can have a little bit of a better indication of, is it going to continue to uptrend? One of my, again, and I don't even know what caused it to push up. So it has to be a big part. I would look a little bit more into that. One of the things I do want to say is, there's a difference from going into something as a day trade and going into it as a swing trade. Because it pushed up so much on Friday, again, it means that it has a lot of margin to give back. So please understand that if you go into it as a day trade and then things begin to go south, you need to make sure that with great opportunity comes great risk management, right? And if you're not someone that's best at managing risk, then I would personally then probably stay away from this, right? But again, something that we'll definitely have to follow up with. I really don't like spam in our chat, Joe. Appreciate it though. All right, here we go. Ticker symbol FB, salty soup. Ticker symbol FB. Here we go. Same thing with Facebook. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into. Do you guys know how cash rich Facebook is? It's unreal. So yeah, I do agree. It's been selling off just like everything else with the market. If I were to choose 5 stocks or 5 companies that I would invest in long term with current market conditions that I would feel pretty confident behind, Facebook I think would definitely be one of them. It's one, that's my opinion. It's just me. But I think it would be able to sustain a recession. I think that there's enough demand. It is essential enough with Facebook and all its counterparts that it would be able to make it. They have the best in the world working for Facebook when it comes down to online tech companies. So with that being said, although I think Facebook offers a lot of long-term opportunity, current market direction is not in our favor. So although I see a lot of value in Facebook long term, because the market continues to sell off, I think Facebook will most likely only follow. So with that being said, just because I see this to be a good deal does not make it a good buy right now. So I get it. It's frustrating. It's challenging to stay patient, but I just want to plant this seed in your head. For everyone that thought last week or 2 weeks ago, when the market was selling off, that Facebook hit 180, which is 180-day lows, when people thought that this was the lowest Facebook was going to go, how do you think they feel when it hit 150 and being down 15%? Just because something is oversold and sold off a lot doesn't mean that it's done selling off. So all I'm here to remind you is that allow that opportunity to present itself. If you see indication of a reversal, if you see an actual reason on why something is changing direction, then so be it. Revisit it and make an informed decision. Don't ignore what everyone else is saying and take time to inform yourself, especially during such desperate times. Trust me, it pays to stay informed. People just love to share opinions. There's a question here. How good is day trading cryptocurrency scale from? I personally don't trade cryptocurrency, so I don't know if you've checked or browsed around our YouTube channel, but we're the largest channel in the world for those that day trade in the stock market. Crypto, Forex, options, that's not something I do. I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm just saying that, if I'm not mistaken, crypto, there's a lot of volatility with crypto as well right now, right? But it also dropped from nearly $8,000 down to $4,000. So a lot of volatility. With great risk comes great responsibility. And yeah, I'm not here to ever criticize other markets. I think you can make money doing anything. It's just your approach with it, and different markets come at different forms of risk, right? Let's go ahead, and I want to do about two more breakdowns, and then I'll answer some open-ended questions. Is that cool? So, all right, I want to see a good one that we maybe haven't done in a while. So ZM, what's going on, Ben? Alrighty, so this one's been doing pretty good, right? A lot of consolidation here. What's one of the things that is not super clear on ZM right now? What's one of the things right now on ZM that is not super clear? So it hasn't sold off very much, but what is not super clear? So if you were to have $100,000, you worked for 10 years and you saved $100,000, right? What would you feel comfortable putting $100,000 in ZM right now at 107? Why would it or why would it not? Direction, right? As of right now, direction is not super clear. I do agree that overall, big picture, it has been showing signs of a pretty nice uptrend, right? But with that being said, based off of current patterns, right, there's been a lot of consolidation. It's been doing a pretty good job holding above $100 and a pretty good job making lower highs. With that being said, this isn't something that like we're missing out on. This isn't something that's making higher highs, higher lows. This isn't something that's doing anything crazy that's like, wow, I am missing an opportunity here. I do agree that, there could be a reversal opportunity. I'll set my alerts for potential higher highs just as much as I think that it can sell off, right? And instead of entering a position and hoping that it doesn't sell off, how about I just set my alerts and follow up with it when direction is a little bit more clear? So I think that's definitely something that we can do when not when things settle down, but when ZM becomes a little bit more clear with it. So markets are down, dude. No, we're very well aware of that, Eric. Alrighty. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm just gonna. We've had a lot of people join our channel the past week, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I think a lot of you guys again just would appreciate as a friendly little reminder: stocks and ETFs that go up when the market goes down. So PSQ. Let's go ahead and break this one down, and then I'll get to mine. Okay. So yeah. Triple Q ETF. So this is PSQ. So like we've noticed, this is very similar to, right? I believe it's SQQ. Yeah. So, but this one's, all right. Overall, this one had, it pulled back 9%. So one of the things that I like reminding our traders, especially our learn plan profit traders, is just because something is, as of right now, doing well with current market conditions doesn't mean that it can't have red days. And this is a perfect example. It lost nearly 10% in one day. So again, with great volatility comes great responsibility. And if you can't manage your risk and you can't keep up with this volatility, either watch your position size and manage your risk, or holding back and not trading isn't the worst idea either. It all comes at your own pace, right? So this one's most likely going to be something that follows, if I'm not mistaken, /NQ pretty closely. And based off of the recent pullback, market's down 4.55%. So if this follows like it did, let me double check. This one lost 28%. So this is SQQQ. This is a perfect example. I'm actually really glad that we're talking about this. Had a really strong day on Thursday and a really red day on Friday. 30%. Just imagine that you fall, you think that because the market is selling off, that it's just going to continue to push up, and then it pulls right on back. Obviously, now that the market, so if you guys want that ticker symbol again, /NQ, Market is selling back off again, so that means that the triple leverage ETFs such as SQQQ, I believe it's triple leverage, right? We'll have to double check that. Should be up nearly 10 to 15%. If /NQ is down, that means that SQs should be up 3 times as much. So this one will most likely be up 15%. But again, there's nothing wrong with taking things day by day. And this goes into the last thing that I want to talk about. So how is he trading when the market is closed? I'm not trading, brother. I'm just doing breakdowns for the people that are tuning in right now. But this is actually a question that I asked the real estate investor and agent that I work with. And I've actually asked a couple of my YouTube friends that are either real estate agents or real estate investors, and their opinions, not just opinions. I feel like anyone can have an opinion about anything, but what they're currently seeing with the housing market. Like my questions to these agents and investors were, are you seeing houses to stay on the market a little bit longer? Are you seeing prices drop? Are you seeing there to be less buyers? Solid questions, right? Solid questions that we are here to ask to stay a little bit more informed on. It's still something that I'm trying to collect a little bit more thoughts on. But the really cool thing about this is that when the market is selling off, right? And this is something that you guys can take a little bit more time again, and I know I said this like so many times today. You guys can take a little bit more time to inform yourself on, but there, /NQ, right? And I'll zoom in a little bit more. You guys can see that this is where it closed out on Friday, and this is where it's currently at right now, right around like 7,600. Pretty much it's down 4.55%, meaning that if it holds around this general area, that means that SQQQ will most likely be up 15% at market open. If again /NQ stays at current prices. Again, if the market continues to sell off, these are the ETFs that tend to go up. So SQQ is one of them, right? And we've seen this for the past, you guys could even go for the past 20 days. This thing has been consistently showing signs of an uptrend. Just because it's been overall uptrending doesn't, again, if the market begins to correct itself and it begins to reverse, it's only a matter of time for SQs to begin to sell off and TQs, which is the inverse ETF, to begin to go up. So again, be informed on direction. That's been my biggest focus, and I would encourage you to take a little bit more time to learn about how these ETFs work and to see if it's something that you should partake in. Another one that's very, very popular, it's not one that I trade. What is it? XPXS, which is the S&P 500 ETF. So this one is one that, again, goes up when the overall market goes down based off of the S&P 500. We had one of our members right now ask us about DRIP. DRIP is more focused on a combination of crude oil and natural gas. And this one's ridiculous. This is not something that I would, if you're a beginner, if you're someone that struggles with risk management, this is something that I would not touch if you struggle with risk management whatsoever. You could just see that when the market really began to sell off, when we went into the oil war, not us, but Saudi Arabia and Russia had that conversation, it's been unreal. How crazy. You guys could see that, what is this, 1 month? And in 1 month, it's gone up 500%. But again, with great opportunity comes great form of risk management. The inverse of DRIP is gush. And this one has done pretty much the opposite, right? So I'm not here to just talk about the one side that is making money. We're here to talk about the other one. This one's down 95%. Just imagine that. So these are the last couple of words that I want to, or the last couple of sayings that I want to say within this video. And it comes down to the simple idea that, there's a lot of great ways on how to make money, but you need to be informed on both sides. The market is definitely not doing well right now. It doesn't mean that you can't make money. It just means that you need to inform yourself on how you can make money when the market is selling off. This is something that if you guys watch, as soon as we got news from the coronavirus, and we started to get affected by it in the stock market. One of the first videos that I uploaded was talking about how you can still make money and what ETFs still make money when the market sells off from the very beginning. And on top of that, we've also talked about what stocks and ETFs sell off as the market continues to sell off. All I'm here to remind you is that every single time that someone pitches you the idea of what company you should invest in or what company you should day trade, don't just ask about how much money you can make, but ask them about the risk involved. Everything with great opportunity comes with great risk. And there's no other way around it. Like, yeah, some might be better than others, but at the end of the day, if all you are asking about is how can I make money and not thinking about, how much you could potentially give back, that's just very one-sided. And you guys could see that from the very beginning, even during this whole market recession and stuff like that. I, although have noticed overall market direction, I have still stayed in my lane. I've still focused on natural gas. It's my bread and butter. I've worked really well with it. And, I've noticed that natural gas has been extremely bearish. I began to really focus on degas, and I've had some of my biggest days were last week, and it was because of, how the market was trading. But just because I do something doesn't mean that you should do it. The high risk comes with a high reward, and you need to learn how to walk before you could run. So if you are getting into the stock market right now because you're excited, there's a lot of opportunity, great. Take time to inform yourself about how to take advantage of this opportunity, both the pros and the cons and the risk involved. Everything that comes with, again, great form of upside potential comes with a decent downside potential. So please, I'm really excited to trade live with the Learn Plan Profit group tomorrow. I'm excited to see how the market opens, and I'm excited to see how we challenge ourselves. There's no question that one of my favorite things about the stock market is if you ask anybody about why maybe they really dislike their job, it's because it's probably very repetitive. It's not very challenging. One of my favorite things about the stock market is that it's challenging for me every single day. And I'm okay with saying that. I challenge myself every single day to, seek opportunity, to manage my risk, and to, focus and stay disciplined in the areas that I excel. I'm not here to prove myself to anyone else, just like you shouldn't either. At the end of the day, we are here to work hard for ourselves and for those that we love. And besides that, it's just opinions. So all I could encourage you and want to leave you with is during these tough times and times of great opportunity, simply means that, maybe you can, instead of asking what you should do, take time to learn about what is going on and make your own decisions. We say this all the time, but if you give a man a fish, right? If I give you a fish, you could eat for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, right? The ins and the outs and the ropes, he can eat for a lifetime. So it just really comes down to asking what kind of person you are and long term, how you see this to play out. So can't go wrong with production. Yeah. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, I really hope that I earn your thumbs up throughout this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to direct message me on Discord. Do not message me on Instagram. Do not message me on Facebook. Don't message me anywhere else. Direct message me on Discord. Again, you can join our free Facebook group. We have over 246,000 members, and that's that first link down below. If you guys want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, you guys heard me talk about them in this video. It's the Learn Plan Profit group. If you like my trading style, if you like the way that I share information on YouTube, then I would love to work with you on a closer basis. Click the second link down below, learn a little bit more about the Learn Plan Profit group, and you guys can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow. There's a little coupon in the description for you. You guys could refresh it. It should pop up. It's $40 off, and it's at the very bottom of the description. So if you guys want to join, great. If you guys don't, at the end of the day, I learned from trial and error. just like each and every single one of you can. So it's just one of the things that I offer, that if you want my time and my attention and my assistance, then I'm definitely here to, be of value. So like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success, and wash your hands and stay clean. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note.